over the past week or so. I think it was earlier this week. There's a lot of like stuff happening in the near future because like not E3 is coming up, and Jeff and Sony and all these big companies are going to be potentially doing their thing around the E3 timeframe, but it's not going to be E3. And Square just like came out and said it, where they're like, yeah, you know what? We got like the 35th anniversary of Final Fantasy, where they got a whole bunch of stuff. We've also got the 25th anniversary of Final Fantasy VII, and we got a bunch of stuff to show off for that. So it's like, what? Excuse me? So they're seemingly got like an absolute metric ton of Final Fantasy, not just 7, but in compendium related things, which is, well, this is probably going to be a big time for an FF16 trailer, and I would not be surprised if they at least mention something about Final Fantasy VII Remake. Yeah, check this out. Look at the, Jesus, slap this headline on something and all of it, holy shit, man, eyes will start turning. Final Fantasy VII news will be shared next month. Remake director reveals. According to Square-Enix will make announcements regarding the 25th anniversary of Final Fantasy VII next month. According to Tetsuya Nomura, who shared during a Japanese live stream focused on the mobile Battle Royale game on Wednesday. And it's possible that the June announcement could include 7 Remake Part 2, since Square Enix has previously indicated that they want to share details on the sequel during this anniversary year. So, here's the funny thing. There is so much Final Fantasy VII stuff that they could talk about that it could be anything, right? I don't think it's going to be more stuff on FF7 The First Soldier. This has been out for like, what, 6 months or something like that? It's been out for a little while. I don't think it will be that. But there's several other projects that are actually in the background that we got to remember. There's that Ever Crisis game that was shown off, no kidding, like almost an entire year ago. And Ever Crisis is a multi-gamed episodic remake of the original Final Fantasy VII saga, of the compilation of Final Fantasy VII, including the original game, which is crazy. Granted, they were mobile games, right? That could have changed. Mind you, that actually might have changed over the past year. It might not just be mobile games anymore, but we'll see. But that's a big thing that I think they're probably going to focus on. I think we're going to get an update from that. But the bigger gimmick of Final Fantasy VII Remake being here, I feel like where there's smoke, there's fire, and I feel like this also contradicts a lot of stuff that I've said in the past a bit, where no, Final Fantasy 16 and Forspoken and all these things will have to be out, right? They will definitely need to exist and be out and be a thing before before we get our hands on any sort of sneak peek or teaser or trailer or something for the future games. The weird thing is that it seems like Square, with the 35th anniversary and with the 25th anniversary of 7, they seemingly are jumping to the front of the line a bit faster than I thought they would. And it mostly is to celebrate these milestones, it seems, because these are big milestones. Here's my crazy prediction. I don't think we're going to get a full-blown ass reveal of FF7 Remake in the next couple of weeks. I don't think that's going to happen. I do think that they're going to mention something. I have a funny feeling that the big reveal of 7 Remake Part 2, like an actual teaser. Yeah, I think like a title card, like a very short, maybe if it's anything, if we see anything on this game in this time frame, it is going to be extremely short, a title drop with potentially a name, right? Something like that. Maybe even just key art. The most minor thing you could possibly get. Based on all this stuff and the fact that we're in this year that is this milestone, I think we're getting that full-blown ass at the end of this year during the Game Awards. I really do. Because Game Awards has been a staple showcase for a lot of crazy Square Enix related stuff, including Final Fantasy VII Remake that happened with the Epic Games version. I personally feel that based on all this stuff that's happening, this E3 is going to be really dedicated to Final Fantasy 16. This not E3 Summer Games Sony Fest, whatever the hell it is, right? If we're talking about a full reveal of like the game in some way, an actual reveal of the game, I think that is the end of the year. I think that is a big Game Awards sort of thing that Jeff would, you know, grab onto really hard and would actually happen. So by my calculations and what I personally feel of how stuff is like lined up with Square Enix in the past, and I've had a pretty lucky anticipating what FF7 Remake is going to be doing in the future in the past. I'm pretty sure we're going to get a bit of Ever Crisis and the other projects that are in this big FF7 fandom that they're making right now. We're going to get that. We're going to get a small teaser of the game, if not a reveal of the game and its logo. And then at the end of the year is when you'll show up again and get your ass fully blown by the 7 Remake sequel. And by that time, you know, by that time, there could even be a chance that Final Fantasy 16 and Forspanken are already out. Could be a thing. It's all really good news. The biggest thing to take from all this stuff, from Nomura talking like this, from the lead producer talking like this, from all these guys like saying all this stuff about FF7 Remake all over again, it's like, okay, where there's smoke, there's fire in this industry. If there's this many people high up on the like ladder that are talking about this game repeatedly throughout this year, multiple times, it means there's something coming. It means that they are ready to show something, what it's going to be, and how small it is. Don't get your hopes up too much, but I can't believe that might actually be a possibility. We have survived potentially to get to the point where we're seeing even more stuff on Final Fantasy VII Remake, considering all the crazy horse shit that's happened over the past few years. That this game came out at like the very dawn of the goddamn pandemic, you know? That we're even getting close to the point where 7 Remake Part 2 can be a thing. I'm genuinely excited. I wish I could express that with my voice and my face and my body. Unfortunately, the virus that lives inside me will not let me do that. Fucking Genova cells and shit.